Hi, I'm Lise Colucci, and I'm one of the life coaches at queening.com, where we help you to discover, understand, and overcome narcissistic abuse in toxic relationships. Hi, it's Valentine's Day. Happy Friday to you. And I hope that you guys are doing okay on this day, which can be a difficult one. So I thought we'd talk about self-care as a way to bring the focus back to where we're trying to gain the love, which is towards oneself, right? Self-love and self-care. Hello to Suzanne. Hey. And Life's Revival and Shastina. Hello. Okay. And happy one to you as well. I miss you too, Suzanne. I miss your voice. Okay. All right. So if you need any help regarding anything with narcissistic abuse, head over to queenbeing.com. Lots of info over there, lots of links to different articles, different videos, support group, as well as coaching and group coaching. So if you need info on those two things, coaching and group coaching, check out the description of every video, and right down below has links to where to find coaching if you need it. The group coaching is ongoing and is priced as affordable as I can get it. So if you need it, it's there. Okay. Check it out. I think that's it. If you would like texting notifications, I go live 3 to 4 times a week, aiming for back for 4 real soon here. My Mondays have not worked out, but we're going to try. Anyway, text me 33222, put the word Lise Live, LISELIVE, hit send, and I will text you about 10 minutes prior to every time I go live. And that's it. If you've not hit subscribe, hit the thumbs up, and let's start talking about self-care and not waste time with all this intro stuff. Hey, Jib and Gypsy and Cindy and Duchess and Klaza. Hello. Hello. Okay. Does it grind your gears? I don't know. Yeah. All right. So self-care. Could all use a little more of it, right? Everyone can use a reminder about it, I would assume. You guys talk to me. What do you do for self-care? What do you think about it? Are you able to successfully or regularly do things for yourself? Consider yourself. I'm going to talk about what it is. I didn't write anything down, so we're just going to talk. Hey, Jeannie. Self-care is, in my view, considering yourself as you would consider others. It's treating yourself in a way that is the way you would treat someone you care about. If you want to love yourself, if you want to find self-love, you have to start treating yourself as if you are lovable and treating yourself as if you already love yourself, right? It's not just going to come from, if you're sitting there thinking negative thoughts about yourself, you're not going to suddenly fall in love with yourself because you think negative thoughts. It's not going to work like that. We need to build a more positive inner life and more regard for ourselves. And one way to do that is through self-care. Hey, life's a journey. I can't stay. I wanted to say hello. Shastina, how are you feeling? Quantum physics. Hello. Positive self-talk. Yes. So self-care is not a thing you do. Self-care is, in my opinion, a lifestyle choice. It is a choice to consider yourself and the things you do, to consider your thoughts and to keep them moving toward the direction you wish to be thinking in. In other words, what we do in our life is, the daily things that we do. Often our thoughts and our feelings are leading us toward really negative self-talk, and really it can be kind of depressing in there, right? So you're sitting there doing dishes and you're complaining in your head about everything. Yes, we need to complain, we need to vent, all of that. I'm not saying don't ever do it. What I'm saying is if you can use those moments, because a lot of people say, I don't have time for self-care. I work 2 jobs, I got kids, I do this, I do that. Totally legitimate reasons to think there is no way to get self-care in your life. Well, these are some ideas for non-time consuming self-care would be to start doing things for yourself while you're doing the things you're already doing, if that makes sense. So for instance, washing dishes. Everyone washes dishes now and then. You're washing dishes and you're complaining the whole time you're washing dishes. Your back is hurting. You're slumped over the sink. What if you stood up a little? What if you got what if you made it more fun in your own head while you were washing the dishes? That would be an act of self-care to do that, because you would be redirecting your thoughts towards something positive while you're doing a chore that needs to get done anyway. And from that place, often you can then find other things to do next. Suzanne said music. Yes, maybe it makes you want to turn the music on. So you turn the music on. Whoa, there's another thing, right? Self-care. Maybe it reminds you when you're doing dishes because your thoughts are more clear that you forgot to eat. And so you go and, then the next thing you do is take care of yourself by giving yourself food. Another place to consider self-care is when you are doing things like eating. A lot of times when we're alone, we just kind of go through the motions and throw down the food, right? Or, hey, James. A lot of times we don't think about what we're doing. We're just eating, or we don't consider what we would want to eat. We just eat what's there. Taking time to think about yourself like you would someone else, sitting down with yourself in your head. If you're by yourself, the conversation's with yourself, right? And so have a nice, decent one around food in your head. You're nourishing your body. You can nourish your spirit and your mind and your emotions at the same time by not having negative conversations with yourself at the dinner table. That is a huge act of self-care. And think about it. If you were sitting down with a friend and they were negative the whole time you were eating, you'd feel sick by the time you're done eating. If you flip it around and you have a conversation with a friend that's lighthearted and fun, or even just calm and pleasant, it's a much better meal. So things like that for your self-care. Okay. And we'll have lots of other ideas. So let me talk about how to love yourself. How to love yourself. All right. Self-care is a big piece of it. I have some tips here, some ideas. Comedy. Yes, comedy. Hey, Mo Cowboy and Bonnie and DK. All right. Okay. So gratitude lists. This is another thing I say. Besides finding joy, go seek it. Make a gratitude list. Doesn't have to be on paper. Maybe you're not a list maker. Maybe just take some moments to feel and experience gratitude in your day. It really does change your perspective around, and it changes the way, hey, E-Rock, how are you? Changes the way you see yourself. When you see yourself as a person who can embody gratitude, I don't just mean feel it, but embody the sense of gratitude, really be experiencing, hey, fancy, the gratitude, then it changes, it can change how the complexity of how you see yourself, and it can add positivity without it being overlooking the things that we know are wrong. We can't just gloss over, right, and have positivity, but having gratitude at the same time can help things, especially if you're in a tough situation or having a rough day. Okay. 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 What did I say here? Okay. So for the body. So when I think of self-care and how to love yourself, I think of all the different parts of a person. So you've got your mind and your emotions and your body and your spiritual life and your work life and your hobbies and all of that. And those are all areas that we need to put focus into if we're going to grow them, right? You can't have a hobby you don't do and call it your hobby, because you're not really doing it. So it's not really a hobby. It's something you'd want to do. So if you are looking at your life as in that way, like breaking it down like that, and you realize I put a lot of attention and a lot of focus on my emotional well-being because I'm healing from narcissistic abuse. So I think about that a lot. I think about my emotions and how I feel, but I'm not really doing much for my body. My body's just kind of sitting there, and I'm tired, and I'm this and I'm that. You might consider then to start using some self-care in that direction and start maybe exercising, or minimally making sure what you eat is healthy, and that you are eating, and that your snacks are healthy and good for your own body, and that you're also giving yourself food that you like the taste of, and all of that, so that you are nourishing your body and rewarding the senses at the same time in a self-care sort of way that is healthy for you. Okay. And so that can go for any of the parts of you. If you are somebody that thinks all the time, you may need to get into your feelings more. And there's ways to do that through your senses and through noticing and through gratitude and through allowing the feelings to be there. We talk about that a lot. Okay, so got to build the foundation, body, mind, spirit. It is possible to build those tiny building blocks out of foundation for all of them at the same time. Is it? Yes. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like what I do personally is I look at who I am as a person and like the parts of me. And if I notice, oh, I'm really not it's sort of like if you look at your home and you go, oh, you know what? I haven't cleaned the bathroom in a long time. I sure spent a lot of time cleaning the kitchen, but I don't go in that other room. You just kind of got to walk in the other room and do it. And as you're walking in the other room and doing it, it doesn't mean you completely let the other places go. You maintain them. They just don't need as much attention because they're already maintained, right? And so sometimes it can get more heavily weighted toward one part of your life, and then you pull back and find another part that needs some attention. We're having a relationship with ourselves, and it requires attention and nurturing and building a relationship with oneself so that you can love yourself. Does that make sense? Okay. Sort of just building balance and not paying attention to the quality, but the quantity of your behavior. Not to the quantity, but the quality. Yeah. So you're just building where you're focusing to help balance yourself as a whole person. And there's times in your life where you may need more of one thing and less of another, but how do you know what it is you need until you start experiencing some of this? All right. For yourself. Hi, Darla and Grace. Okay. So that already said eating healthy. Okay. Big one. You have the opposite issue with household chores. I'm always cleaning, working, or sleeping. Well, then perhaps it's your spiritual life or your playtime. Our life has to, what we want to include in it, we need to nurture in order to do so, is what I'm getting at. And it's not like it's just going to come there that's not going to happen without some focus and attention. Hi, PM. We really need self-care. What a better day than today to try and focus on ourselves. That's right. So paying attention, this one's a big one because it goes for, no matter what you're doing, you're with yourself, right? No matter what you're doing, you're there with you. You don't get away from this up here, right? We can't escape the thoughts and the inner dialogue and the feelings that come from those things. We are with ourselves no matter where we are. So in any form of self-care that you're doing, even if it's sitting down getting a manicure, you're still there with yourself in your own head, having thoughts. Pay attention to those thoughts and maintain them in a positive direction, minimally reducing and eliminating the negative self-talk and the limiting beliefs. Has a big old chunk of self-care right there to be able to recognize when you're not speaking kindly to yourself. Is this how I would talk to anyone else on the entire planet? If you would say no, then it's time to restate how you say something, because you deserve as polite and kind a treatment as everybody else, from yourself to yourself. All right. Can I explain which another way? I've completely gone past it, and now I don't remember what it was. Can I explain which part another way? The doing, I can't remember what I was saying. Carry your intention through the activity. Carry your intention. Well, yeah. And so paying attention to how you talk to yourself can completely change your life if you start switching around. When you are happy and you feel love in your life, your whole attitude changes, your whole life changes. When you feel negative and pulled down, it changes, right? We've all experienced that part, at least the negative part. So how we're talking to ourselves in our heads is really critical to how we experience life in every other way. So it's a big one. All right. Like back onto the body, moving your body and doing things, walking, dancing. If you cannot, because of physical limitations, then find a way to maybe it's a massage of your arms, or maybe it's sitting in a chair and dancing around just like that. It doesn't have to be up and vigorous. It's just movement and reminding the body that you're there for it and you're taking care of it and you're moving it and you're getting some oxygen into its muscles and getting the blood flowing. It's good for the body and it's good for all of you. All right. Okay. Stop with the comparison. I said this yesterday too. Stop with the comparison. You can't love yourself if you're comparing yourself to everybody else. Then you're just doing what narcissists do. A lot of times we're just repeating the patterns that we've had in our life back to ourselves, and we're being kind of abusive to ourselves. So stop the abuse toward oneself. Then better self-talk isn't the default, but yet the pattern interrupt is getting quicker. Good. Hi, you and I. Yep, positive self-talk and building self-trust and self-care activities can be so difficult for survivors. It really can. And that's why I'm doing this, because it's a reminder that if it was easy, I wouldn't need to talk about it, right? Well, maybe. Okay. So sometimes when things just feel terrible and you're thinking, I can't do any self-care right now. It's ridiculous. It wouldn't do anything anyway. Maybe then it's time to just pay attention to one thing that is right and is okay. Even if it's literally the tip of your nose, that's okay. It doesn't matter. Anything. Just to get your brain from locking into the fact that from the pattern of thinking that everything is terrible and everything is wrong. And it may be that things are pretty bad. And it's not something you're doing to avoid the bad. It's something you're doing to remind yourself that there are other options in life. And there's other ways of thinking, so you don't get locked into the negative patterns. All right. Okay. Meditation. Meditation is an excellent form of self-care. I think we all need a reminder to do that daily. If you can get 10 minutes in, yay. If you can get 2 of those in, even better, right? And mindfulness meditations are great for most survivors. They help you to be present to the moment, to let go for a few minutes of everything that's spinning in your head, all the feelings, all of it, to just be present to what's real and right in your moment, right in the moment right now, to your breathing and to the sounds in the room and to the sensation of the air and all of that, to be present to what is in the moment right now, not your emotions that are dragging the past into the present, and not your fears that are projecting that into the future, but just what's here right now. And if you can do that for a few minutes, it calms your nervous system. That's why it's most important. It calms the nervous system, even if it's only for those 10 minutes. The nervous system responds by actually calming down. A lot of times you'll feel calmer for maybe half hour or an hour even or more from a 10-minute meditation. So it's important. It helps you set intention for your day. If you can have a short meditation where you're just being mindful, find a guided one that's short and sweet and not too complicated. And at the end of it, ask yourself what you want for yourself. Set an intention for your life. I wish to nourish and foster this curiosity I have about things. Whatever's coming up for you, and work with it. Okay. Make a list of everything you need and wanted from a narc, and then give those things to yourself. It can be as simple as, I am a good person. Wanted them to say, yes. Self-care was my first action after work today. I loved myself and others today. And the moment I got home, I took a steaming hot bath with oils. Love it. How can you do that in a genuine way if you're being bombed at the same time with realizing you grew up in a very toxic narcissistic family system, like really having not healed from it? Because right in this moment, you're okay. Hopefully. If you are okay in this moment, because if you're thinking back to the past, you're dragging your emotions into this present moment. And that isn't what we're doing when we're trying to be mindful. We're letting those be there, but we're not holding them so tightly. They're just clouds floating around you. They can pass. It's piece by piece, Iraq. It's not like you don't do this and then you're like, oh, I'm so much better. Sometimes it is. And most of the time it's drops in a bucket, but then it eventually fills up and it eventually becomes part of how you function in your life, considering yourself you start to catch it. You start to catch when you're not considering yourself. And a great act of self-care can be setting boundaries. I had one today. Give you my boundaries was the next one, which is so funny. I love when that happens. Okay. So boundaries, not just saying no, but real boundaries in your life. We need them. They're important. So sometimes setting those is a giant act of self-care. I had one today where I realized that a situation, I considered one person's feelings, and I considered it was a situation that involved 3 people. I considered both of their feelings when I made my choice to give a reply to one of them, and replied, had a conversation, whatever, everything's fine. I didn't consider myself. And when I really considered myself, I thought, I don't want to be in that situation. Done. It's over. That one piece of that situation's over, because the other situations, it just didn't even dawn on me that I hadn't considered myself. And so that's partially what led me to do this stream today, because I thought, oh my gosh, that can happen. But because I practiced this, I caught it. And yeah. All right. So, mindful is letting go of the toxic family members. Yes. Mindful is being present to yourself in the moment, to the moment itself. And through that, a letting go can happen, I think. All right. Okay. I want to be in the solution and not think that it's hopeless. Maybe I'm waking up and this is just hard. It is hard. It is. No one said this is easy. That's for sure. Okay. You're okay in this moment, then notice it. This is noticing what is okay is a big act of self-care. Noticing that, yeah, I'm okay right now. And just feeling it, like take it in, even if it makes you smile or cry or whatever, just take it in. It's not going to last forever. You're going to have a moment and then you're going to be distracted onto something else. So, okay. Having patience with yourself through this process. That's another inner kind of self-care. You see what I'm getting at? That self-care can be acts like getting manicures, taking walks, hanging out with friends, or being social. It can be being quiet when you need to. It can be an active thing, like buying yourself flowers and things like that. But a lot of self-care is about how we treat ourselves on the inside as well, on the inside and, in the heart. Okay. So, all right. Giving to yourself with a generous attitude. When we give ourselves a gift, more people than not who are narcissistic abuse survivors or just people-pleasing types of people make justifications for the gift or the giving that they gave to themselves. I do it all the time. I totally get it. We need to be more generous with the giving. If I buy myself flowers, I always justify it. I'll even tell people who don't know me that I bought myself flowers and make justifications, because for some reason that doesn't feel like it's okay. Makes no sense. In reality, when you think of it, it's kind of funny, but you know what I'm talking about. You do something for yourself and say, I shouldn't have spent the money, but I felt like I deserved it. And you start justifying it. Just if you give a gift to someone else, if you buy them flowers or take them out to eat or do something nice for them, do you have that in your head? No, you think, oh, that's so nice. I love doing this for that person. Or, oh, I hope they like these. I hope they like pink because I got pink flowers, whatever. You think of them. You're considering them. So when you are being generous and giving to yourself, do so with a generosity and gratitude for yourself, as if you're doing it for someone else. Sometimes we just have to put ourselves in the position that we are someone else and treat ourselves that way. Changes a lot. All right. Reaching out and asking for help. That can be a huge act of self-care. Whether it be a friend, peer, or a coach or a therapist, reaching out and asking for help can be a huge, huge act of self-care. I love giving myself flowers, and I'm not going to make any excuses anymore. Didn't buy them this year. I'll do it later. I haven't done it yet. Usually I do it for Valentine's Day. I didn't this year. All right. Being creative is a form of self-care. A lot of us miss that part of our life. We skip that part because we're so busy healing, working, and living and surviving. And creativity kind of goes by the wayside. Creative lives can be rich and fulfilling. Even if you don't feel you're a creative person, there's always get a coloring book. It doesn't matter. It's anything to allow yourself to feel your creative side. It is very healing. You might find something interesting in that is a part of yourself you haven't seen. And as you see new parts of yourself, that's when you start falling in love with the self. Okay. Hello, sunny day. Honing in on the sensation of the body that can actually feel terrible. And then it kind of relaxes sometimes anyway. I'm glad it relaxes. Noticing when I stop being mean to myself and when I'm being mean to myself and stop. Good. Yes. Okay. So back to my daily thing I say every day, you guys go seek joy. Seek it out. Find something funny. Find something comical, something amusing, something positive, anything. Find it. Remember it. Notice it. Cherish it. Whatever you got to do, but embrace it. The joy is they're fleeting moments, right? We don't live in, I'm so joyful all the time. So find it, seek it. Don't expect it to just come to you. Sometimes we got to go looking for these things or being open to them, right? If we're going and walking around and doing our thing and we're not open to the fact that there could be something joyful any moment, we're going to miss it when it could hit you between the eyes and you wouldn't even notice it, or you wouldn't feel it. So if you go out seeking it with an open heart and an open mind, the chance of noticing it is greater and it can enrich your day. All right. Again, finding fun. That's another one. Finding fun. How many people have fun anymore? Who has fun? I have fun. Anybody have fun? If you're not having fun, it's fun. Go do it. Really, go find some fun. It changes perspective when you have some fun in your life. Okay. We have to be careful what kind of movies and music we're listening to, which can cause extra anxiety. Well, it can. How to love yourself. What else I have here? Lots of things. The journaling. Journaling is another self-care activity that most people can find a little bit of time for in the day. Dream journal, gratitude journals, thought journals, experience journals, daily journals, even a daytimer type of journal where you're just jotting down the things you do in a day. Sometimes that is all you need to remind yourself, oh, look, I got a lot done. A to-done list instead of a to-do list. Things you did that are marked off. Look at all those marks I did. I did them all. I did those things. So that you feel like you're accomplishing something in your day. Fun. Humph. Fun. Going to an Elvis impersonator and comedian show tonight with friends. Yay. That sounds fun. Okay. I do some fun things. I could do a few more. Okay. It can mean, wait. What did I say here? It can mean something. Oh, somebody said it earlier about understanding, noticing, and feeling what you need. The things you needed from your toxic ex, yes, the things you needed to hear, say them to yourself. Feel them and give them to yourself. Finding out what nurtures you, what makes you happy, what brings you joy, what makes you laugh, what we don't know after a toxic abuser in our life. So discovering that side of yourself by trial and error. Doesn't matter if you aren't succeeding right away. It really doesn't. You just keep trying until you find the thing that makes you funny. I don't know. I put on a comedian. They're not funny within 10 minutes. I just find another one. It's no judgment on them. They just aren't making me laugh in that moment. Find something else. And usually I'll find one and be laughing and then I'm having fun. Okay. I recall early in the day before consuming mass quantities of chocolate. Very little. Currently experiencing sugar-induced semi-comatose state. Not sure if eating the chocolate was fun or a feeding frenzy. Well, chalk it up to fun. Chocolate it up to fun. And consider yourself having had some? I don't know. Yes, chocolate. Okay. Recreating or changing up or redoing your living space. That can be as simple as rearranging furniture. It can be a deep clean. It can be throwing out old things and buying new things. It can be swapping items with friends to hang on walls or whatever, just to change it up. It can be going and buying some small items to decorate a room. It can be as large as painting a room and buying all new furniture, whatever you can do and can afford to do. It can be really, really invigorating and create a whole new living space for you by doing even small things, cleaning your living space up, all of that, getting rid of things you don't need anymore, minimizing, maximizing, whatever you need to do, whatever feels right to you, can help you with the self-care. It is self-care, and it can help you with self-love. All right. Hi, Jesse. It's half price already here, and I've been resisting the chocolate. Okay. Another self-care, trying new things, stepping out of your comfort zone. I talked a little about this yesterday. Trying new things. That doesn't have to be huge. That can be self-care. What else here? I'm going to go over to, I have like 3 lists of self-care in different places. So daily gratitude. I talked about that a little. Don't forget to include yourself. That is self-care. Like I said, considering yourself in situations isn't selfish. You're a person and you are worth it too. You matter. And so considering yourself as well can be really helpful. All right. I have like a few minutes left here. So I'm going to go through this real fast. And then I have to go today because I have a meeting. All right. So let's just go through a quick list of self-care ideas before we end for the day. All right. Avoid toxic people. Avoid them. Get them out of your life. And if you have to have them in your life, minimal contact. Gray rock, no concern for, you meet them where they are. They're cold, no empathy, and don't take accountability. Then you meet them there. You don't try and love them up and change them. Let them be. Let them be, or avoid them if you can. Learning boundaries. I said that. Boundaries is such a big act of self-care. All right. Stop with the word should. There's no shoulds. Very few shoulds. There are some shoulds. The word does exist for a reason. But I should have done that. I shouldn't have done that. That isn't useful to you. Replace it with, I can see what I learned from that was blah, blah, blah. And maybe next time I might try whatever. That gets you on a forward path, and it's an act of self-care to think in that direction. Get out and explore, even if it's somewhere. Play tourist in your own town. Get out and explore and do things. Get out into life a little bit. That is an act of self-care. If you need to, pull the covers up over your head. That can be an act of self-care. You see, it's not just about being out and, sometimes it can be staying in, cuddling up with the book or Netflix or whatever, under the covers, dog at your feet, tea in your hand, and that is self-care. It just depends on what you need. Understand what you need and give it to yourself as much as you can. Take naps. That's self-care. I don't have much money, so many petty appointments and massages can be costly, but I found that laughter, drinking water, walking on grass, sticking hands or feet in dirt or sand, and skipping are fabulous. And you know what, you and I think those are the more satisfying and gratifying types of self-care anyone can do. I think the things we do for ourselves in the simplicity without spending a dime can be the more meaningful acts of self-care that we give to ourselves. If you are with someone you love, if you were a little child you love, and you stuck your hands in warm sand and they put their hands in the warm sand and they had this look of like, ooh, that feels good on their face. That moment of connection with that child and the sand and yourself, you can't buy that, right? But you're doing that with yourself. When you're out by yourself and you're doing it, it's not that you need someone else there to receive what you're experiencing. You receive it and you experience it inside yourself with a positive outlook and a positive experience of that moment. Then You've gained more than anything than any mani or pedi could give you, right? Sometimes it is too much to go interact with others, but those ones are great, easier, because yes, sometimes it is. You just got to know what you need, right? Just want to say thanks. Listening to these sessions, good. Yes, that is. Okay, so restate the negative thinking and the limiting beliefs. Okay, dogs are going to bark. Kids coming in the house. Here we go. Here we go. Hey, Ruby, it's just my kiddo. Good girl. All right. Okay. Connecting with your inner child. Yes. If you're in those moments and you are doing those things, you can totally connect with your inner child when you've got your hands in the sand or your feet stuck in cold water in a river or something that children love doing, right? All right. Definitely is self-care listening and sympathizing here. Yes. Okay. Hot tea. I want some hot tea and naps. Okay. Good night. No. Restating the negative thinking, restating the limiting beliefs. We talk about this all the time. Other videos have way more on it, but if you don't know what that means, limiting beliefs are things that keep you stuck where you are because of the way you're thinking about it. I can't do this. I'm not good enough. I am not worthy. Those kind of thoughts, we got to restate those. Huge act of self-care. All right. Restating them might sound like, I'm learning how to do this new thing. People who are learning things make mistakes. I will make mistakes. That's okay. It doesn't have to be straight to the most positive thing. Just talk yourself through it and get yourself into a more kind mindset. All right. Change up your routine. An act of self-care can be free. That can be free, is just changing your routine. If you walk down one street, skip over 3 streets and walk a different street. Takes you 5 minutes longer. That's okay. Just, factor in those 5 minutes. Doing something a little bit different gives your mind a break. It gives your mind some stimulation, not a break. It gives it stimulation, and it kind of is invigorating. So that can be an act of self-care. Creative writing, poems, songs, journaling, stories. If you don't like that idea, other forms of creativity, painting, drawing, sketch, anything creative, woodworking, it doesn't matter. Do something creative. I already said that earlier, but there's that. Okay. This is where my writing gets really crazy and I can't read it because I was writing really fast. All right. Create a morning routine. Create a morning routine that serves self-care, not a rushed and harried one. So that might mean laying out your clothes the night before. That might mean having everything set up to take a nice shower in the morning. Just have your bathroom set up and nice so that when you go in there, you can take your shower and have soap that you like and shampoos that you like as best as you can. And give yourself a positive morning by starting in your shower with some affirmations and some positive thought. As you get out and you start getting ready, looking yourself in the mirror as you're brushing your teeth, that's a great time to affirm in your head something positive towards yourself because you're already looking at yourself. Putting makeup on, whatever you're doing, shaving, it does anything like that, where you're looking at yourself, that's a perfect time to send positive feedback towards yourself. Incorporating it into your meals, thanking yourself for making the meal, thanking yourself for driving yourself to work. That's what I mean. Create a positive morning routine. Do the same thing at bedtime. Get to bed on time, sleep, do whatever you need to do to make your bed comfortable, things like that, and create a routine around it. Gratitude journals at night is a great routine because you can wake up to it and reread what you wrote the night before and start your day with gratitude and end your day with a new list of gratitude. So that's an idea for routines. Okay. Find a new hobby. Find something new. Go back to an old hobby. That can be self-care too. Let's see. I've got a few more here. Oh, number 1 is observe your successes. When you have any little tiny thing you've done, be proud of yourself. Be happy that you did it. Own it. Own your greatness. Own your beauty. Own your strength. Own your sparkly light. Own it all. That is you. That's the you we all see. That's the you need to see in order to have self-love. Okay. Find it. And I'm doing the hands thing again because we're getting at that time. Anyway, yeah. Um, when you have a small success, give yourself credit. Don't brush it off and ignore it. All right. I never thought I would thank myself for cooking myself a meal. Interesting. Right. And why wouldn't we? You'd thank anybody else, right? Anybody else. If someone makes you toast, you thank them. Big deal. They put a piece of toaster and a toast and a bread in a toaster and, pop the thing down, but you would thank them. You never thank yourself. It doesn't have to be like, thank you, Bonnie. That was a lovely meal, Bonnie. Like that might be kind of weird, but maybe not. Maybe you enjoy that. But it can be something like, I'm grateful I can make this meal. This is awesome. I'm a good cook, or I'm thankful I know how to cook, or I'm thankful that I have the food to cook. But it's, or maybe I'm sitting there. Thank you, Lise. Sometimes I have to do that just to remind myself to do it, because if I'm going to tell you to do it, I got to do it too. I don't do everything on these lists, but I do a lot of them. Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. Last one I'm going to say for today. We do a lot of research on toxic people, a lot of talking about negative things, a lot of talking about toxicity, a lot of reading and researching about narcissism, about narcissistic families, about abuse. We absorb and take in a lot of that throughout our day, especially if you are just learning about it. Find something inspiring to counterbalance it. Find an inspiring book, an inspiring stories, poems, music, whatever it is, to to give some balance to that. It's important to learn and understand no red flags and all the stuff we have to learn and understand what we went through in order to heal from it, right? But something inspiring, something joyful, something that makes you feel close to your own heart will open you up to self-love. Learning about narcissism won't. Learning about narcissism will help keep you safe, and it'll get you on the path toward healing, but it's not going to open you up to self-love. It's not, because you're spinning your wheels thinking about a toxic person. What will open you up to that is something inspiring and something that makes you feel close to your own heart. For me, it was Clarissa Pinkola Estes. Anything. She held me in a time when I needed it the most. Love that woman. And so something like that. I read one book and hers at the same time. I did audiobooks, and I would listen to her lovely voice doing her lectures. And then I would listen. And then another time I'd sit down and listen to the narc stuff, right? And the narcissistic stuff is heavy and it's dark, and it won't bring you close to your love and your life and your light and your side of yourself. It's not going to, but inspiring things can. So make sure you add those in. That's a big, big self-care tip there. All right, you guys, I need to head out. Clarissa Pinkola Estes is who I'm talking about, DK. I love her. She wrote all kinds of stuff, but the Dangerous Old Woman series is the one that got me. Clarissa, yeah. I'll type it in. I'll type it in at the end. I love her. Yes, correct. I'm not going to type while I'm talking because I can't do two things at once like that. Celebrate the little things and the wins. Exactly. Even a clap and a cheer and a woohoo. You should see me, you and I. That's my normal. My dogs are like, yeah, there she goes again. That's my normal state when something exciting happens. So, or I'm happy about something, or my own successes or other people's. Yes, sure. That one is good. Her later stuff I prefer. It's the Dangerous Old Woman series, and it's about 6 lectures, 5 or 6 that you can go on forever. It's wonderful. I need to start re-listening. So good. She's just wonderful. All right. And you learn a lot about yourself with her. Anyway, she's amazing. Okay. Yes, it's mindful too. I surmise to realize what you do for yourself. It is. A lot of this is, I tend to base my life on aiming for a mindfulness, or how do you word that? A life that has mindfulness at its core. So a lot of the tips and advice I give are based on that. So yes. All right. Gone no contact with my narcissist mom recently. Would you consider doing a session on getting rid of the residual anger and resentment? Yes, I would consider that. I think letting those things go are critical for healing. In fact, I did self-forgiveness last. If you didn't see that one, that was the last one. And I think I did one on closure. That might help you last week. Watch those if you haven't already. And if you have specific questions, ask them in the main comments, and I will try and do like a follow-up video on that, relating it to what you're saying there. Because I feel like I just did, what does that say? No, that's not it. If I'm reading back in my notes, I feel like I just did that. That would be great anger. I feel like I just did anger. Maybe I called it something else and didn't put the word anger in the title. So I'll have to look. But if you haven't seen those quantum physics, go watch those and see if any of them are speaking to what you're asking there. And if they do, but they're not answering enough, please leave a comment in the comment section and I will get to it. Okay. They are the pits, and the anger is real. And so for the short version is, I don't know how long I've gone no contact. I don't know how long recently. The anger is real and totally normal right now. We got to feel it sometimes in order to keep us away, in order to keep us safe and at a distance. It takes a long time to get to the point where you're angry enough at your mother to say no contact, doesn't it? It's a harder thing to do, to break contact with family like that, to have no contact. Very difficult. It's a very hard decision, and it can sometimes take that anger. And sometimes that anger is there to help you stay away for a while until you can start sort of processing what happened, who they are, the reality of it, and all of that. So don't be too hard on the anger and be a little bit patient with it. Resentment isn't going to help you in the long run, but right now it might just be tied to the anger. So yeah, let's talk more about that. Watch those and see if there's anything in there. The closure one in particular might help, because that's kind of where the resentments are, right? You can't get closure. They're not going to be accountable in anything. They're smearing you. They're doing this. They're doing that. So, okay. Check them out. Okay. Let's see. Anger, subtitled How to Destroy All Evidence and Dispose of the Body. No, it is the hardest thing you will ever do. It is. It really is. And it may be the thing that frees you for your life. So, yeah, please ask any question you have after watching some of those so that I can help if I can. Okay, you guys, I have to get off of here. As always, if you have any topics you would like me to talk about, leave them in the main comments of any videos. I try to get to them. I have lists going, and when something is like that, so please let me know if those help you, quantum physics, and if not, and if they don't help you in particular, and if not, how, so I can be more specific and answer you. What are we talking about? Freedom. All right. Yeah. If you would like texting notification of my going live, text me at 33222. Put the word Lise Live, LISELIVE as one word. Hit send. That's it. And I will send you a notification about 10 minutes before going live. If you have not done so, thumbs up, hit subscribe, all the good stuff. If you need help one-on-one, I'm available for coaching. You can find me in the main description of every video down below. And there are links to the coaching page. There's also group coaching available that has an excellent group of peers and coaching support, plus daily messenger support as well. So it is a pretty tight little group with lots of help, and lots of help from each other, and I come in and help as much as I can throughout the week, as well as a once a week meeting. So it's a pretty good deal. Anyway, that's that. There's that available, always available. Check it out in the links. And yeah, I guess that's it. I'll see you guys next week. You have a good weekend and take care, and happy Valentine's Day. Take care of yourselves. Okay. Bye.